Microaggressions are extremely common in the workplace today and have been for quite some time. A lot of these occurrences happen without even a glimpse of thought. As someone who's worked in the education field, I found that employees are truly well intentioned in their interactions, particularly with students, but end up in situations where they end up putting the proverbial foot in their mouth. And they find themselves having to course correct or, having to figure out how to recover from those situations, which can be very awkward and uncomfortable in those moments. Something that I experience personally and regularly is when someone compliments me on my articulateness in my written or oral communication. And so there's this presumption when a person says that statement that as a Black man, that I am the exception to the rule that Black individuals are not capable of articulating themselves clearly to the dominant group, specifically white individuals. Another example that I can point to, and this happens quite often, particularly within the business world, is when a cisgender woman offers a recommendation, idea, or solution that gets little to no attention once it's offered, or is in many cases rebutted. But then a colleague who is a cisgender man offers the same example, even worded differently, and it receives applause and accolades for his contributions. And this is something that unfortunately happens a lot. And this is a clear example of unconscious bias that we often tend to display towards women when they offer an idea that it's viewed as incompetent, or or even thinking about the attitudes that we might have about women in the workplace, right? And what are they, and how we relegate women to specific roles in all of these different things. And so it's really something that I think every organization should really be mindful of, the different ways in which microaggressions are happening, not just in terms of how you're interacting daily with individuals, but also how the organization itself is ultimately making a person feel like they don't belong, or that they feel slighted in some ways too. And so I really think that, especially when thinking about unconscious bias, that microaggressions are one of the easiest and most, one of the easiest and most common ways that an employee especially might feel like they don't belong, or that they're not at home within that organization.